What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video, I'll be reviewing episode 236 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled Cut and Run. And Tenma, Asuri, and what's the other guy named? Tenma, Asuri, and Arami or something like that. Those are the three villains. So Arami is Arumi or something like that. He's the father, the leader of the Funato clan, and then his younger son is Tenma, who was pretty much the main villain of this episode. And his older, so that's the younger son, and the older son is Asuri, the first guy we seen who rescued his dad, or got his dad out of prison, broke his dad out of prison. So yeah, those are the three actual blood members of the Funato clan, and I just said their name for one because I'm trying to get used to their names because these are Japanese names, so I'm trying to get used to them. But so far, and Tenma was introduced in this episode, and so far out of those three, I think probably Asuri seems, I don't know, Asuri and Tenma seem to be the cooler ones. I don't know. I think we haven't seen Tenma fight yet, but yeah, I don't know. They did say Tenma in this episode. It was mentioned that Tenma, along with his father, they're the most violent and uncontrollable of the three, of the clan or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, the episode started off with a recap of what happened in episode 35. And I mean, 235, a recap of what happened in that episode. And, Sarada and Mitsuki went on the island to try to, rescue, the people of that island who was taken hostage, as well as Team 5 and Boruto, and then basically Kagura told Boruto, or he asked Boruto, Kawaki, and Buntan to go on to that big ship that appeared at the end of episode 235. And they went to, it was basically a mobile fortress. So it's not even it's a ship because it's moving on water, but it's a mobile fortress because this thing is huge. And it had a huge scientific ninja tool on it, which we saw a couple episodes ago. It actually destroyed like part of a city on one of those islands. So yeah, so this is a very powerful, huge ship. And yeah, then we had the intro, the opening, and then we seen Sarada and Mitsuki talking to Team 5, and they decided that Team 5 was gonna go look for a ship because Dinky had, found out that they had a ship that didn't have too many guards around it. So Team 5 decided that they were gonna go, and secure the ship, while Sarada and Mitsuki decided to go get the hostages, rescue the hostages, and bring them to the ship. So that's what they did, and yeah, that's what they did. And Boruto was kind of arguing with Buntan, and arguing with her, talking about how he wants her to follow his lead, and he doesn't trust the way she's doing, the way she does things or whatever. But eventually they got onto the fortress, the mobile fortress, and yeah, they overheard some of the stuff that was going on the boat or whatever, and they seen Tenma. And yeah, so while that was happening, it was some people talking, some of the civilians were also talking about how they don't want to become soldiers of the Funato clan, because if they did, then their chances of surviving will be extremely low. So it was basically foreshadowing the death match that we seen later on in the episode, because apparently in order to become a member of the Tenma unit or whatever, you have to participate in a death match, and you have to win a death match, which is kind of weird because Tenma actually killed the guy who did win the death match. He said, hey, try see if you can cut me, or try to see if you can cut me. And when the guy couldn't cut him, he ended up killing the guy, even though that guy is the one who won the death match. So it's kind of like, it's kind of weird, because how do you actually become a member of the group? Because you can't just win a death match to become a member. You have to, apparently you have to scratch that Tenma guy. And I highly doubt anybody in the group have actually scratched him, because they're building him up like he's extremely strong. But yeah, so that's the case with that. Metal Lee and Dinky, Team 5 went on the boat, and they managed to secure the boat. They took out one of the they took out the guards who were on the boat, and Dinky was trying to get the engine started. And Tenma, he did, he punched one of his soldiers because he got mad at them for basically saying that he should be the successor of the Funata clan. And yeah, he said his clan, he puts his clan before his own life. He's completely loyal to his dad, and he puts his clan before his own life. So he wouldn't, he wouldn't, he basically doesn't care about who becomes a successor or whatever. He cares about his he cares about his dad and his brother, basically his clan more than himself. So that's what he said there. He was also happy that when he found out that his brother actually rescued their dad, or should I say, broke his dad out of prison. So he was happy to hear that. I wonder if he was hiding for 5 years with that governor, that governor who was helping Asuri hide, or if he was off doing his own thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming he was hiding with Asuri. But anyways, so yeah, then we seen that one of these guys who was one of the guys who was being held hostage, who was actually from Dotou Island. He went to the guy who was leading the Dotou Island for the Funata clan, and he told them that there is some Hidden Leaf Village people, some people who's not from Dotou Island, they're from the Hidden Leaf Village, who's among the hostages. So the guy told him to take him to the hostages, pretty much, and they went there. And by the time that they were there, Sarada and Mitsuki had pretty much already taken out the bodyguards, or the soldiers who were watching these hostages, who were being. And by the way, the hostages were being forced to work, mine the mountains and stuff like that for gold, because as basically was stated in the previous episode, that the Funata clan only keeps people alive who are useful to them, pretty much. And so anyway, Sarada and Mitsuki had saved the hostages, and they taken out the soldiers and saved the hostages. But then what happened was, when they were running away, when they were running to the boat, that the ship that Dinky and that Team 5 were that Team 5 had secured, when they were running to that boat, they were attacked by the main guy who was in charge on Dotou Island from the Funata clan, and he used a water style jutsu to basically capture 2 of the hostages, and it seems like it was the 2 Hidden Leaf citizen hostages. That he took hostage, and with a water style jutsu, and he captured them. And then he basically told them that they have to surrender, and if they surrender, he'll spare their lives or whatever. And then Sarada, basically, it seemed like Sarada was acting like her and Mitsuki were going to surrender, but it turned out that it was just a genjutsu, and she chopped the guy in the back of the neck. It's cool to finally see Sarada using genjutsu again. It's been way too long since she's used genjutsu. She's had several opportunities to use genjutsu throughout the series, and she could have used genjutsu in several fights, like in her fight against Chocho. She could have used genjutsu to one-shot Chocho. In her fight against Boro, she could have used genjutsu on Boro. Those are characters who have no known genjutsu resistance or anything. So obviously she could have used genjutsu on them, and it would have worked, and she could have used that to win fights. But you know how genjutsu is the most nerfed technique in all of Naruto. It's barely ever used, and it's only really used in situations like these where they don't really need to use it. It's funny how Uchiha, they're so plot nerfed that they only use genjutsu in moments that they don't necessarily, not only, but they usually use genjutsu in moments that they don't necessarily need to use it, instead of using the genjutsu when they actually should be using it, which is in battle, to basically, cause their opponents to see illusions or completely stop their opponent's movements. Now, of course, most Uchiha, if not all of them, have used genjutsu in battle. It's just that they don't do it that often, especially Sarada. She barely ever uses genjutsu in battle. But yeah, it was cool to see her use genjutsu here, and she knocked out the head guy on Dotou Island, and then after that, Dinky Dinky couldn't get the ship, he couldn't get the engine started, so some of those soldiers came back, that came to the ship after the hostages and Sarada and Mitsuki made it back to the ship. So the soldiers followed them back to the ship, and they were trying to get on the ship. And yeah, so then not Dinky, Awabe, Metal Lee, Sarada, and Mitsuki had to fight off those soldiers. And we seen them use their jutsu. Mitsuki used his snake lightning. Sarada, Metal Lee was using taijutsu. Awabe uses earth style, and yeah, they were fighting off these soldiers. And then we had a scene where we cut back to where Bunta on that mobile fortress where Boruto, Boruto, and Kawaki were investigating. And Bunta actually killed one of the soldiers, and Boruto didn't. He said, hey, you didn't have to go that far. We're only here to investigate or whatever. And Bunta was like, it's either kill or be killed. This is like, she was basically saying, it's either killed or be killed on this mission or whatever. And then Kawaki, he almost fell off the ship because his motion sickness. But Bunta it seemed like she used some type of medical ninjutsu technique to heal Kawaki and stop his motion sickness. And then Kawaki asks, if you had this all along, why didn't you use this sooner? And she says because she wasn't obligated to. But now that they're on this mission together, she didn't want Kawaki to be holding her back or whatever. So yeah, so Kawaki's motion sickness has been cured. That's very, very great because I'm getting sick of them. I was kind of getting a little bit annoyed with that. Kawaki being kind of plot nerfed by something as simple as, motion sickness. But yeah, he's fine now, so that's cool. And then Kawaki said he understood what Bunta was talking about being about you have to kill somebody before they kill you. That's pretty much what Bunta was saying. Because they're on a mission and they're fighting their enemies, and because she was basically saying kill or be killed, and Kawaki kind of understood that, as he was in Korra, and he did have to kill Garo because Garo was coming after him and attacking him. So out of self-defense, he killed Garo. So because obviously the Korra were, he didn't know everything about the Karma Seal back then, but still the Korra were basically, abusing him and stuff like that. So anyways, he basically kind of understood what Bunta was talking about. And then at the end of the episode, Kawaki, Bunta, and Boruto seen the scientific ninja tool on the mobile fortress. And they were like, this thing could, basically in the preview that we're talking about how it'll be dangerous if that thing hit Dotou Island, especially with their friends in that area. And they were trying to basically stop that from happening. They were trying to stop this mobile fortress from unleashing that scientific ninja tool, or basically doing anything pretty much. And yeah, so that's what happened in the episode. And yeah, and the episode ended with just Kagura. It ended with these one of these soldiers coming after Kagura seemingly. But anyways, overall, that's what happened in the episode. Overall, this arc is going great. As I said in my last review, I'm liking the way this arc is being written. Is being written very greatly, and this has potential to be a very great arc. So far, it's already off to a great start. And yeah, everything I like. Basically, I like everything that happened in the episode. I didn't really have any problems with anything that happened in the episode. So with that being said, this episode was a 10 out of 10 in terms of story, 10 out of 10 in terms of artwork, 10 out of 10 in terms. Artwork, I think I did notice a little bit of weird looking artwork here and there. So I'm going to give the artwork I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10 for the artwork, and 8 out of 10, or no. 8 out of 10 for the artwork, 9 out of 10 for the animation. So overall, this was I would say a 10 out of 10 episode of Naruto Next Generations. The story is always the most important part, and while I did notice, I think it was just one scene where the artwork was looking kind of weird. But yeah, that doesn't take away from the episode, because it wasn't really, it was just like a scene of characters running or whatever. But yeah, so overall, yeah, 10 out of 10 episode. This was another great episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, and I really enjoyed it. And with that being said, drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode and of my review in the comment section below. And like the video if you liked it. And also, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and click that notification bell to be notified on all my future videos, and share the video all over the internet. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.